You might notice that there is a deep connection between luxury and art. Luxury brands usually use art as an inspiration source for their design. Not only do they use art as an inspiration, but also they try to cultivate, to support art. And that's the reason why in the recent 30 years, many luxury groups establish foundations to support contemporary art. And this is the episode about luxury foundations. Hi everyone, welcome to Fashion Brief. In the end of May, I spent a few days to work remotely in Paris, and I also got the chance to experience the amazing city. I got so inspired just upon walking on the street to see the buildings, interior designs, museums, and it's just filled with artisan feelings. It's definitely a city for fashion enthusiasts to visit. And one of the schedule I planned for this trip was going to Fondation Louis Vuitton. Not only because of the amazing architectural design by Frank Gehry, but also there are plenty of exhibitions and also concerts in the foundation. The building has been finished in 2014, and since then, Fondation Louis Vuitton has been a major tourist attraction for fashion enthusiasts. You might think that Fondation Louis Vuitton, the exhibitions inside should be fashion related, but actually it's purely about contemporary art. So it actually inspires me to do an episode about luxury brands and its foundations. There are already a lot of foundations founded by luxury brands such as Fondation Louis Vuitton, Hermès, Cartier, Ferragamo, Fendi, etc. And also they have one-time project support for contemporary art. So it's not only limited as a foundation, but also as single projects. And so first I would love to discuss about why art, why there is connection between luxury and art. As I've mentioned before, art is one of the inspiration source from luxury brands. It contains great meaning in different ways, and as time goes by, the art piece will not only record the artist's current mood or life experience, but also the historical reflection. The art piece is normally immortal, and therefore art has been used by one of the marketing means from luxury brands. And throughout the 3 decades, many fashion foundations has been established around the world. And so what is the meaning of private institution? Well, our central question might be, what is a cultural institution for, either public or private? Well, there might not be a black and white answer to this question because each foundation needs to find and also to define themselves what kind of field, what kind of people, how they're doing to support the artists. Because without the support from the foundations, it might be hard for the artists to continue of what they are doing. And as we know that there are plenty of foundations founded by different luxury brands, what are the differences? What are their claims? Well, most of the foundations, their claim are to dedicate to supporting and raising awareness of contemporary art, such as Fondation Cartier, or are contributing the preservation of cultural heritage and values from the past and to guarantee their continuity and future growth, primarily in the art. And also their brands are claiming to supporting contemporary artistic creation and making it accessible to as many people as possible. For example, this is for Fondation Louis Vuitton. They want to make art have the great access to the public. And as we can see that these claims are more or less similar, although they might have different support initiatives in different fields. Moreover, luxury brands usually leverage foundation to have their focus values, namely what they believe in. And so their claim has a great connection to it. For example, Fondation LOEWE focus on craftsmanship. And Fondation Prada, they have a wider focus not only on art, but also on science, on film production. And for Gucci, they also have different focus on photography. So what can you find actually in the foundation? If they have a exhibition center, then you can access to see the exhibitions inside. If not, then they might have some competitions and also supportive initiatives for the artists. So they normally own private collection and also commissioning artists to make art pieces for the foundation. Also, they might organize special exhibitions in the exhibition center. And as I've mentioned before, not only art, but also they have different focus on film, photography, also music. For instance, there's a music concert hall in the Fondation Louis Vuitton that can hold workshops, masterclasses for musicians. So namely, another way of supporting young talents is to have workshops, to have the connection between masters and also young talents. And this also indicates that the brand is showing kind of a cultural cultivation for the society. Also, for those luxury brand foundations, they have great connection to the cities. Normally, they help city to sustain the cultural, historical heritage, but also at the same time, they have the privilege to use these event locations for their fashion shows. And so it creates a win-win situation. And so what are the key takeaways for luxury brands for establishing a foundation? Well, first of all, of course, they want to contribute themselves to the society, but also at the same time, they establish their image that as a cultural leadership to cultivate talents and also to keep precious things, what they believe in the world. But you might notice this concept, for example, Fondation Louis Vuitton, the biggest belief for them is to make contemporary art for all, namely to all the public. Whether you are the customer for Louis Vuitton or not, you have the access. It is actually a huge clash between luxury laws, because for luxury brands, they tend to have the exclusivity. But by launching a foundation, including a lot of exhibitions and concerts, it sort of include and also to engage, to make the public engagement in order to have an intimate interaction with the luxury brand, although through art, through music, through different fields, not by the product. So I think in general, it's a really great idea for luxury brands to cultivate what they believe in, apart from the luxury goods, but to have the two-way communication with customers or with potential customers, or even for those who will never consume the luxury goods. Because a greater relationship, no matter with whom, will always build up and also elevate the brand perception for consumers in order for them to either direct or indirectly influence people. So in the end of this episode, I would love to encourage all my subscribers to go to one of the foundations, if you're in Paris, Milan, or wherever, to leverage this chance to visit and to see the exhibitions or cultural activities, and then to feel the difference between private owned and also public owned, such as the other museums. It's really interesting because it's something not commercial for luxury brands. And please leave a comment below if you have ever been to one of the foundations by luxury brands. What are the exhibitions? How do you feel about the architectural design? I'm really curious about that. And see you soon. See you next time.